Hey, welcome to Horns Up. This is episode number 26, and we are talking in a week where, or rather in a month, where there's been quite a flurry of activity from solo artists. I know Dhruv Ghanekar's back in the gigging scene. He's doing some gigs.
Oh, wow, he is?
Yeah, he's doing some gigs with a new ensemble or something of that sort.
All right.
Cloud Kicker Ben Sharp just dropped in a new release.
Yeah, that's something that I was most excited, and it's great to wake up to an email saying
I
Cloud
can't
Kicker.
wait to hear it too. I mean, I've got it, but I haven't yet heard it. Blackstrat Blues, Warren released something on social media that says he's almost done with his new album.
Yeah, and he put out a making of video.
So that will be coming out soon. And it's been about a month since we caught Sutej Singh, a guitarist from Uttaranchal, Solan? Yeah.
Himachal.
Himachal Pradesh?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
sorry for that. A guitarist from Himachal Pradesh
Yeah.
who has completely bowled us over, with what was a fucking excellent performance.
Yeah, dude, I still can't believe we watched him, and I'm surprised that I never kind of checked him out earlier. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, Bobbin keeps recommending him, and
Apple
apparently
Music.
he put Apple Music on fire.
Yeah.
And he even got attention from Katrina Kaif.
Yeah, the Bollywood starlet. She kind of
Do you think
surprised him.
Salman Khan ever wrote to Sutej Singh saying, "Abhi tu kaun hota hai?" I just made Peter absolutely lose his shit right now with laughter.
Well, because Salman Khan and I actually have some connection.
Holy shit! This is new discovered territory. What is this connection? Quickly.
Well, I kind of went to the same school as him, but of course, decades
Do
apart.
they teach you how to dance with only using your belt buckle
No,
as a
they kind of
dancing movement?
They
thingy?
kind of tell you that, yeah, Salman
Well, you
Khan,
exude similar charisma, so maybe that's one of the course works there.
No, it's simple. They tell you that, yes, Salman Khan went to the school, but he was nothing like what he was back then. You cannot be like him. And we're like, okay. So it was quite the
Well, you
contrary.
know what Salman Khan has in common with all these musicians? Apart from the fact that he tried to play a guitar without any plectrums and stuff. Not that actually you need plectrums for playing a guitar, but whatever. He did a very, 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 very stupid job of trying to play a guitar and then played the first few notes and then threw the guitar and the guitar magically kept playing. The magic of movie making.
Yeah, Bollywood music.
Yeah. And if you're an Indian, you'll know which song I'm talking about, regardless of whether you are into Bollywood or not.
And I'm pretty sure there are quite a few of our listeners who actually are not Indian but still watch Bollywood. So no judging.
Even you guys will know what song we're talking about because that song was a fucking raging hit.
Yeah.
I actually sang it once at a school competition.
See,
Anyways,
this
we are
is
fucking
news.
digressing too much. Let's get back on track. Sutej Singh, ace guitarist, although he doesn't like to be called a guitarist, he calls himself a composer.
Yeah, which is one of the things we discovered during our conversation with him.
Yeah, completely. Because let's set the context, right? So this is a hardcore metal night,
Yeah,
right?
Black Blood.
What was it called?
Black Blood.
Black Blood.
Yeah.
Black Blood, okay. I didn't realize that. It featured this lovely band from Rajasthan, from Jaipur.
I didn't catch
You
that.
didn't catch that?
No.
Shit,
I think
I
you
caught that one.
Yeah.
Lovely band. I'm forgetting their name completely,
I
but
think they were called Demigod.
Demigod, yes, Demigod.
Yeah.
Dude, Demigod guys, if you guys are listening to this, fucking ace performance. Just keep doing what you're doing. A lot of kinks to be worked out, but I think there's a lot of potential there. I went and actually told them that they reminded me of a very young, prepubescent, pre-first album, Demonic Resurrection. They had that kind of a vibe.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, that's putting undue pressure on them. Anyways, so metal bands slated first, second, third, and not Dead by Fungi. Pacifist. Dead by Fungi?
Dead by Fungi closed the night.
Dead by Fungi. Fuck, now I'm confusing even the fucking hardcore bands. Whatever. So they were supposed to close the night, and in between these two bands, you had Sutej Singh, who came on stage with a lovely little guitar. Not little, I mean it was standard size. It was a lovely guitar. There was Ishan on bass, and there was Parth on the drums, and that's it. 3 people, and they played a lovely half-hour set that completely won me over.
Yeah, and it just like, because even Sutej talked about it and he said it on stage that this was the first time they were kind of playing to a metal audience. So he also was not sure what response to get. And boy, did they not only win us over, but won over a lot of metal.
Yeah, the music was beautiful. And it totally, I mean, I kid you not, this is one of the first times when, you know, that high that you get from discovering new music and then you go back and as soon as you can try and get it. Yeah, I did that. Like, as soon as I got into my car, the first thing I did was try to find this guy on Apple Music. And boom, The Emerging, that's the album, released last year in 2018. It was there. It's a beautiful listen. Just crank it up and play it from start to finish. Put on a good set of headphones because this is stuff that you can lose yourself in.
Yeah, and it you can, I mean, this is the kind of music I like listening to while kind of doing work or kind of there. But yeah, the moment you kind of immerse yourself into it, and with each listen, this is the kind of music that you will keep finding more and more nuances which you never heard the first time.
Yeah, completely. It's like an onion. It keeps, I made that reference earlier on the podcast too. It's one of the things that I keep going back and talking about. But whatever, this is really deep stuff. It's very layered. It's very complex. But it's not complex like complexity for the sake of complexity. It's so well structured. And then we come to know that this guy is, 25 or 26 years old.
Wow.
And through the conversation, it's even more mind-boggling, some of the stuff that he says, which I won't spoil right now, but once you listen to it, hopefully you guys will be as amazed of his talent that we are, or we were, and the chat after him just solidified it.
True. And I think we've said quite a bit about the interview. Let's just cut straight into it.
Yeah, let's just cut straight into it. Mind you, it does take a little bit of time to get warmed up. And there were, again, a lot of just bad recording issues that we faced because of the Wi-Fi and stuff. So it does get a bit noisy. But anyways, here he is, Sutej Singh.
We've got Sutej Singh here with us. Welcome to Horns Up, Sutej.
And hey, what's up?
And first of all, congrats on the release, the first year anniversary tour of The Emerging. Animesh and I were there at the show in Bombay, and it was just great to see you performing.
I also got him a little bit at Delhi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How have the shows been so far, the entire tour?
It's been actually lovely. Last year when we were performing, we were still beginners as performers, and we were still kind of getting used to it. But this time it was completely different, and we were more confident on stage, more tighter as a band, and the crowd reactions were better. Everything was better this time. Yeah.
One thing that really stood out to me at the Bombay gig was you guys were like slam in the middle of like far more like heavier and
exactly.
band that played after you. So it was just like very refreshing to have you guys perform. And one of the things I caught from your set, and I still remember you saying that this is the first time you're kind of playing to a metal audience. So
exactly.
That reaction, what is the reaction, or was it expected?
I mean, when this gig was finalized and we were in that lineup, my reaction to my manager was like, bro, what's going on? Like, this is going to be a complete metal show. I don't know if people are going to like it or not, because we have a very melodic side to our music, and that kind of worked out well. I guess the audience, they were super into it in that gig, because I wasn't expecting a lot of noise for us in that gig, and it completely worked out for us, especially that gig and that tour. And I remember playing Bangalore the next day, and it was a prog show, so we were kind of expected there. But in a metal gig, you don't expect like super sweet melodies playing major scales on the guitar, stuff like that don't work out really well though. but it was good. It was fun.
What kind of worked in your favor was the fact that you and your music acted as sort of like a palate cleanser
Hmm.
to clean us off of whatever happened before you, and then set us up so beautifully for Dead by Fungi that played after you guys. It
Yeah.
was it was the perfect kind of music that we didn't know we needed until you played it for us. And plus, your
Hmm.
musical genius. And I know I'm just like blowing smoke up at the moment, but your musical genius and the songs and everything, they are that good to elicit or to just to turn an audience towards you and to fans of you. Now that you're playing the same songs 1 year later,
Hmm.
do you see a change in the way the audience is reacting?
Yeah, like definitely. The last time when I was performing, I was super conscious, like, are the audience gonna like it or not? But this time, I've got a lot more fans coming in rather than just listeners from everywhere. Like people actually knew my songs, and actually they were actually rooting for their favorite song. Like they wanted me to play some particular song, and that kind of really helps you as an artist. Like that gives you a boost in confidence.
That's nice. Okay, so before we get
Mhm.
into the emerging and your music a lot more, I'd like
Yeah.
to take you back to your early days.
Mhm.
Take us back to your childhood, man. Did you grow up in Solan? How did you get into
Yeah.
music? From a musical family, etc., etc.? What was your childhood
Not
like?
at all. Not at all. Like my musical journey started in probably in 12th standard. Like
Okay.
I just bought a new guitar. My dad gifted me a new guitar, an acoustic guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and I started playing songs like "Wish You Were Here," songs from Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd,
Okay.
and
So were you
so I
teaching
started.
yourself
Yeah,
these songs, or did you have
yeah,
a teacher?
exactly.
Or
YouTube was new that time, and like we're that old that YouTube was new, and we were searching for videos like new lessons and new solo stuffs, and not solo stuffs back then, but I was just learning new songs, even singing new songs. Like I don't sing, but that was just as a hobby. And when I come into college, I bought a new electric guitar, the red guitar, if you remember, that I was
uh-huh.
playing
Yeah,
in one
yeah.
of the songs. So that was my first electric guitar,
Oh,
and I started learning some solo stuff like solos from Iron Maiden or solos from Pearl Jam, stuff like that. That those solos that I could play at that time. So yeah, otherwise I never had any intentions to be a musician before that. Even in my school days, I would listen to some pop songs and hip hop, everything. Like I was never into metal and never into rock until my first year in college. Yeah, so that completely changed my outlook.
And where
what?
was this? Where were you studying in college?
This was a college near Ambala. It's
Okay.
called Maharishi Markandeshwar University. That had absolutely nothing to do with music.
Oh,
So, okay, so since it's that, then can I ask you what changed? Did you just realize that this is something that you do really well, or was it that you just became fascinated with the entire sound or soundscape, or I don't
Mhm.
know what changed for you?
Yeah, the first thing that changed for me was my realization that I was a very bad engineer. And
but I think with the
yeah,
Indian scene,
I was in third year, and
I was saying like with the Indian scene, I think engineering colleges have played such a huge role in
a
just
huge
rock and
role.
metal and progressive music, and I don't think any of the colleges have any idea.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember I was in third year in college, and I just stopped attending any sort of classes, any sort of project works, anything related to studies. So I would just sit in my hostel room and just practice my scales and practice new songs. And even at that point, I didn't realize that I wanted to be a full-time musician. But we had a band called Wireweed at that time. It was a prog metal band from the north, and we started winning gigs, started joining those battle of bands, and after I got done with college, then I started getting more serious into this thing. Like I started making new songs, started making instrumental songs for myself, not for the audience at that time, but I just started making songs for myself. And yeah, it just happened. That process kept on going, and it just happened naturally.
So just to take a step back, what was like the environment in the college? Because you said that you didn't really have, it wasn't really known for music. Were there
Hmm.
like certain key people or a group of people that kind of had an influence on the music you were listening to? I mean, you did talk about Pearl
Yeah,
Jam and stuff.
yeah.
So how?
So
Yeah.
we had a group of friends that would listen to at that time, and there was this small practice room in the college. So we would go there, watch our seniors play some Metallica and some Megadeth, and we got inspired by looking at them. And the bassist who plays with me right now, he was in the same college. He was the part of that group.
Okay.
So we've been together since then. And yeah, otherwise, that was like that's the core Haryana thing. That college, it's still, it still gives me goosebumps. Like just to realize that how I got out of there as a musician.
So, Sutej, one thing
Yeah,
that really fascinates me is the fact that you are a self-taught guitarist, right?
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's very weird because that means that you didn't have an external guide as such to
hmm,
to take you from, one style of playing to another, or to even introduce you to whatever it is that you're learning in a systematic manner. I
yeah,
mean,
exactly. Yeah,
you could be like, "Arey, today I want to learn Marty Friedman's solo from Holy Wars, and then
hmm,
tomorrow I'll learn David Gilmour's solo on Wish You Were Here," or something of
yeah.
that. Was it something
Yeah.
like that, or was there somebody telling you, "Acha, ab ye sun, acha, ab ye sun, acha, have you heard this one next?"
Yeah, it was the latter situation. I
Okay.
mean, I had friends like you gotta listen to this, you gotta listen to that. I mean, after our summer holidays, we would come back to college and meet and share what kind of music we have listened to during our holidays. So Ishan, the bassist,
Hmm.
so he learned the new song. Well, I think it was Holy Wars, the exact song that you mentioned. So he learned that new riff. He asked me to play that. So I learned that song from then. And the next summer holidays, he got introduced to Dream Theater and all the prog stuff. So he's kind of
Like a guide
the
of
guy
sorts.
who, yeah,
Yeah.
who discovers new music. And he
But
discovered Dream Theater, Tool, Porcupine Tree, all that prog stuff. So yeah, I kind of, got into that and started listening to those bands, this new, and I kind of loved prog music.
hmm.
I mean, it came naturally to me as a musician, and started listening to Dream Theater a lot, like a lot of Dream Theater and John Petrucci and Opeth, and that kind of was my turning point as a musician. Yeah,
So wait one second. It boggles my mind that and correct me if I'm wrong, but the way you're telling the story, it
yeah.
seems like it was very easy for you to kind of figure out what music you were listening to and then figure out how to play it. Was it really that easy, or did you have to put in a lot of work to just try and figure out what was going on?
I don't know. I never thought that much about it. So, yeah, I was just enjoying the music I was listening
Wow.
to and playing whatever I was listening to. and whatever I wanted to. So again, that guide factor was never there, and
Mm-hmm.
I never had a proper teacher or a mentor to tell me that you should learn this next or that. So I would just do stuff like my own way, and yeah, that's about it.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. Now, you've already brought up something I was going to ask in a question. So, one of the
Yeah.
most obvious influences when I was listening to you would have been John Petrucci, even though, like, the
Yeah.
music you have.
Hmm.
Who else would you consider your guitar heroes or people that you kind of look up to?
Probably my biggest two guitar heroes are obviously John Petrucci and Gilmore. So I would
Okay.
listen to a lot of Pink Floyd and a lot of Dream Theater. Dream Theater for that more technicality in them, and Pink Floyd for more feel. Obviously, Dream Theater has feel as well, but Pink Floyd is all about feel. So I would just learn solos from them and learn what they are trying to do on that guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And absolutely love their playing, both of them.
Okay, now each of these heroes you mentioned, right? Whether it be the bands or the individual guitar players, they all have a unique sound,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Do you think you have a unique sound at the moment?
I think I do right now because I had a friend calling me up. I sent him a new song. Like after the emerging, I sent him a new song that I recorded, a
Mm-hmm.
rough recording. So, and I didn't tell him that it was my song. So, and he immediately recognized that it was my song and it was my kind of playing. And like initially, I would agree that I would sound a lot like John Petrucci because obviously that influence comes into you as
Yeah,
a musician.
completely. Yeah.
Yeah, the more you listen to it, the more you cover their music, that will come into you naturally. Like that is gonna happen.
Yeah, you are a product of your influences.
Yeah, you cannot stop that.
Yeah,
So
completely.
so I remember the first song I recorded, and there was a lot of Dream Theater influence and a lot of Petrucci thing in that. So I kind of changed those parts later because I started realizing that I need to sound more like myself. So after the recording got done, so because that was the first song that I made, I recorded, and I started changing parts in those songs, and I started changing the licks, started changing the riffs that sounded more like Dream Theater or sounded more like Petrucci. So yeah, I mean, I lost the track of the question actually.
No, no,
No,
no.
so it's a very simple question, Sutej. You say that you have a sound.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah, I
describe
do.
to us what a Sutej Singh sound is?
So yeah,
What is
my sound would be like surrounding a song with a simplest melody
Mm-hmm.
and like making a whole picture out of that simple melody. That's basically it. Like I would just pick up a melody in on my guitar and make it epic, make it huge, make it gigantic, just give it a stadium kind of a sound. Like for example, my one of my songs called "The Comeback Trail." Like I never expected that song to do so well because I don't know, that melody is like super simple. I don't know how to describe it. You got to listen to it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, and I never thought that people would actually love it that much. So,
Yeah, that's
the moment the album got released, so that song came on the number one spot on Apple Music rock charts.
Wow.
yeah.
And I was like, why this song? Like, why not that song? Because that's way better. So yeah, that's basically my kind of songwriting, you can say, or my kind of sound that I make a simple melody go nuts.
Right.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah,
nice way to put it.
yeah.
Now in the emerging, you've got quite a few guest artists. You've got Scott Hingham on drums,
Hmm.
Gila Scene on flutes,
Yeah.
Kylan Amos on bass. Now,
Hmm.
why did you choose to reach out to them instead of getting Indian musicians to perform
Well,
on the app?
it's kind of funny, but I was actually reaching out Indian musicians back then,
Okay.
but no one was like showing that much interest or that much, zeal to do it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I don't know why was that, because I was still no one back then. And I remember I just asked a few people, and I wouldn't name them right now, but I've sent an email to them and there's no reply. I've
All
sent
right.
a Facebook message and there's no reply to that as well. So I was like, why, why the fuck I'm even asking them? If they don't
Mm.
want to reply, it's okay. And randomly one day I asked the guy on Instagram to do drums for me, and he was like, "Yeah, that's super cool. We can do this, yeah." And the moment he showed that interest, I was like, "Yeah, that's better." I mean, these guys can record around the same deal. Like there was hardly any um, difference regarding the money.
Okay.
And obviously, these guys had their own studios, their own
True.
recording equipment. So yeah, why not? That was a better option for me that time.
Stage. Uh, Parth and Ishan, they're
Yeah,
members of That Boy Roby. How
yeah,
did they become part of your live lineup?
yeah. Again, Path was has been with me for a very long time. Like it's been almost 10 years now.
Okay.
And so these guys started a band called That Boy Robbie in Chandigarh. That was 2 years ago. I know these guys as well for a very long time, but there were no good drummers around this area, to be honest.
Okay.
And Parth is like one of the top-notch drummers here, and we kind of vibed well with each other. And yeah, we started jamming and started working out. So yeah, that's how it worked.
Okay. All right. I noticed that in your gigs, you're playing along to a click track, minus
Yeah,
tracks,
yeah,
etc. Essentially, you're leaving very little room for improvisation.
yeah, exactly.
Is that an intentional decision? Because when you come to hear a guitarist
Hmm.
play live music, you're not just
Yeah.
coming to hear the same songs, you're also coming to see his talent. I mean, that's my
Yeah.
perception of.
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, my thinking is completely different for my own self. Like, I don't call
Okay.
myself a guitar virtuoso, or I don't like being called that because I'm more of a composer than a guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many better guitarists than me right now, even around this area. And I keep telling people that this is not a guitar album. I never called this a guitar instrumental album. I just call it a instrumental album.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just want to play the songs how they are exactly live, because it's not a guitar jam thing.
Uh-huh.
And there's one song that a couple of guitarists have solos between them. Yeah, but so we tried doing this with another guitarist, but that didn't work out. So I rather did it myself. And but again, coming to that question, I just wanted to play the songs how they are, like live, and just play exactly uh, to give the listener that feel.
Right.
Okay. As a follow-up, I must ask you this.
Yeah.
Does it does it make you feel, I don't know, how do you react to the fact that most people who then end up listening to you or watching you for the first time end
Hmm.
up seeing you as a guitar player and not
Hmm.
as a composer? Does it bother you at all?
No, that. I don't think that much, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, whosoever comes up and calls me that you're a guitar god, India's great to have you. I just keep saying that, dude, I just suck at my guitar skills. Just come here for the experience. Like, if you want to hear the emerging, like, there are so many parts that I don't play guitar at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you guys have seen me, like, so
Mm-hmm.
you know that I just stand back and there's this string section going on
Yeah.
and I'm not playing for those couple of minutes. So that's how the album is, and I just want it to be that way.
Okay. All right. I'd like to talk a little bit more about the emergence.
Yeah,
It's just so smooth and it's so solid. It's
thanks.
so collected. And
Hmm.
since I heard it a few weeks back, it's been
Yeah.
something that I'm repeating a lot. And it's not just because I had to prepare for this chat that
Mm-hmm.
we're having. It
All
really
right.
is an excellent, excellent album.
Thanks a lot.
Um, so the question is, what were you trying to achieve or communicate as such with the emergence?
Like that's a very interesting question because initially, like I was just making songs,
Okay.
and I started out with one song, and I would just listen it back to back, and I started with another song. That was a break, like those couple of songs. I would just like I should do an album. Like why not? And I started recording meanwhile I was in the writing process, and so I just kind of discovered how my writing process was. Like again, that melody thing, just write a
Hmm.
simple
Yeah.
melody and
Yeah.
just continue with it. So I would just collect a bunch of melodies and play over them and see how it works out and see if that can come out as a huge sound. So the first song that I wrote and composed as a full-time musician was Oceans Apart.
Hmm.
Right.
That was in 2015. And I remember like that was the moment like I thought that, yeah, man, this could be the album in the making. Like, and people would like, people were giving very positive reviews about it as well. Like, I should do it, you should do it, come on. And the next song that I composed was Walk My Path. That is the next song to Oceans Apart.
Hmm.
And my attempt for a scholarship in a music college.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I made a very complex looking song, a very complex sounding song. And yeah, that was basically my attempt to a music college scholarship. So yeah, that continued, and I started writing other melodies, and so the album happened eventually.
Just sticking on to the album for a bit. What
Hmm.
does the emerging as an album mean to you?
I mean, it's so close to my heart right now because it's given me so much. As a listener, if I listen to it as a listener, it never fails to amaze me,
Right.
and I've never got bored of my own album like till date. If I've listened it to like uh, 1,000 times, it never fails to amaze me or it never bores me to death. Like I remember in the mixing process when the album was getting mixed, and I would have to listen to this bloody song for like 10 times in a row, and but still it was like okay, I'm still not getting bored of it. I just absolutely loved the sound, how it was coming out. It's given so much love. I've gained so much love through it. It's absolutely amazing.
At this point, I have to ask you, can we play something from the emergence on the podcast? And If so, which track can we play, and why are you choosing that track?
We can play Oceans Apart. That was the first song that I released and composed. Even closer to my heart because that's got a very special feeling to it. So yeah, Oceans Apart, that's perfect.
All right, so Tej,
Yeah.
we know Katrina Kaif is a fan.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of?
Oh, now I'm a fan. Like
That's a
now,
very good answer.
now I've got so much respect for her.
Okay, okay. On a serious note, did the Bollywood rub off, however little it was, however lot it was,
Yeah.
whatever it was, did it help you at all?
Absolutely, it helped me a lot. Like I got articles written on it. I got so much attention out of it. And apart from all that Apple Music scene, this was
Hmm.
the other section in the other side of the world, if you call it. That was, I mean, it was absolutely mind blowing. It was absolutely not expected. It wasn't a part of the story, but it happened, and
So
everyone,
I
yeah.
have to at this point ask you, what was it like just seeing that message on Instagram? Like when it popped up, what was your initial reaction?
So my initial reaction was, this is a fake account. So I was about to have lunch, and it was 1:30 p.m. or so, and I got a notification that Katrina Kaif wants to send you a message. I was like, okay, let me open it. मैं कहा क्या fake account क्या हुआ? क्योंकि there are so many bots on Instagram and all these stuff. So I saw the blue tick. I saw 10 million followers. I was like, what the hell? Like, how is this possible? I mean, and it all of a sudden my phone went bonkers. Everything like it felt like a viral thing. It got filled with
Actually,
notifications and filled with messages coming from all around India. And I got phone calls from my friends. Oh, did you see her story? So it was amazing. It was absolutely out of
Okay.
this world.
Okay. So overall, Bollywood, or let's just generalize it to say soundtracks and sound designs, that's
Mm,
something that you really want to do a lot more of,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So, what's happening in that space? Are you actively composing stuff now? Are you dedicating more time to you yourself as an artist or to other projects? Can you talk to us a
Mm,
little bit about that?
yeah, right now I'm actually back home. And when I'm back home, I'm writing a lot of new stuff. And I'm actually practicing a lot of film scoring type music. Actually, there's a story behind this too. So I was practicing. My album was done, the writing process was done, and the recording was almost done. And I was just practicing my film scoring skills. And I started writing this new melody that sounded like a epic soundtrack of a war film. And I added guitars on it. I don't know why, and I made a song out of it and added that to the album. That's called Revelations. That's the last song of the album.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm always practicing my skills for film scoring. I always wanted to do that. I'm really passionate about it as well. Right now, I don't have any projects as of now, but I would love to go to Bombay and actually shift to Bombay really soon and start doing it as a professional.
right. Uh, you talked about YouTube and learning guitar on YouTube, but
Yeah.
as a musician, now that you've released your music and stuff like that, how important do you feel the internet for you has been as a musician?
Yeah, that's been my teacher. Like, internet has been everything. Like, if I wanted to learn something new, even right now, if I want to learn something new about the orchestra or anything new about production, so that's it. That's the only thing that can teach me that. Internet has everything. Musicians from all around the world to play in my album. So yeah, that's been everything for me.
Yeah, and also, one thing we wanted to touch upon is the emerging has been released by an independent label, Pinecone Records. So,
Yeah.
How did you become part of the roster? How did the whole deal come about?
Um, Before releasing the album, I was like, how do I release it? I don't know about this industry. I was, I absolutely knew nothing about it. And I was just thinking to myself, कि भाई अब record तो कर लिया, अब how do I release? So Yaduveer came into my help, and he then started the Pinecone Records with his friend Palash.
Okay.
So it wasn't a label back then, but
Oh wow.
these guys were just helping me out releasing the album, and eventually they started the label and started doing work very professionally and yeah, managing.
That's really great to hear. Uh,
Yeah.
we've been talking for a while. So just to
Hmm.
kind of wrap up things. What's
Yeah.
next for you, Sutej?
I think after I'm done with the tour and all the gigs, I'm gonna come back home and start writing for the new album. And I've already written 4 new songs. I'm gonna continue doing that and keep that Bombay thing in the back of my mind. Just yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Final question to you.
Yeah.
In the future, whatever the future may bring,
Hmm.
so Tej, do you wish to be known as a composer or do you wish to be known as a guitarist?
I think it will be a mix of both because I'll always have my guitar instrumental albums coming out, but those will be more of the all instrumental albums basically. I'll have flute solos in it, I'll have drum solos, I'll have the orchestra sections in it. So, but yeah, people will always call me a guitarist first, but I would rather choose to be called as a composer.
All I can say is no matter what you do, we are definitely going to be listening to it because सुतेज यार बहुत ही
Yeah.
चंगा काम किया है तूने.
Yeah, and that's the whole reason why we have you on the show. We want more people to kind of hear your music, hear about you
Thanks a
as
lot. Thanks
far
a
and
lot.
wide as possible.
As you can tell, we are fans.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Means a lot to me, man.
Again, I can't believe the fact that this guy is A, self-taught, B, has such a lovely ear for music that he really didn't need, that kind of a structured learning mechanism that a lot of people who, study guitar and that way are introduced to the guitar with.
I think he's also really humble.
Oh,
because-
he's super humble.
And he's kind of like, in a way...
But he's so... I don't know. He seems like so confident.
Yeah, and I think it's a very strange combination because, like, as much as we were talking to him and saying things, he's kind of like, yeah, but he never really thought about it. And I'm sure
Yeah.
it was strange. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah. Definitely, Sutej, we are definitely going to be having our eyes on you. I hope the rest of the world is too. Again, not putting undue pressure, but dude, you've got something going on. I hope you make it big.
Yeah.
I hope whatever you do makes you happy.
So that was Sutej Singh, man.
Yeah, that was Sutej Singh. New talent on Horns Up. Lovely talent to have. And on that note, I think it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah. Check us out on social media. Follow us. Horns Up Pod on Twitter. I'm Trend Crusher.
I'm at Asmoani. Till next time, Horns Up.
Horns Up.